This weekend, we return to Queensland Raceway for the first time in 8 years. Last time we were here, back in 2014, Glenn Allerton and Mike Jones stood on the podium. Can they do the same this weekend? Hello and welcome to Queensland Raceway, situated an hour southwest of Brisbane, for the second round of the 2022 My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australia Superbike Championship, presented by Motul. Last time out at Phillip Island, it was Brian Starring who took out race one and the round victory ahead of Drew Halliday and Mike Jones. Pre-season championship favourite Wayne Maxwell uncharacteristically crashed out of the race before taking victory in race number 2. YRT would love nothing more than a round victory at their home circuit, but Starring's Gold Coast-based team are gunning for 2 in a row. Who will come out on top? Let the late breaking begin. Time to check out the championship points now, and Brian Starring whipped that round victory, leads the championship on 45 points ahead of Drew Halliday and Mike Jones, the YRT duo, at their home circuit this weekend. Josh Waters is in 4th, Daniel Fowlson in 5th, Glenn Allerton in 6th, Wayne Maxwell back in 7th place on 26 points. Arthur CC's in 8th, Matt Walters in 9th, and Aidan Wagner rounds out the top 10. Time to find out more about this very intricate circuit with 2 people that know more about it than most people, having raced here back in the early days of the circuit.
Queensland Raceway is not known for its twists and turns, but what it is known for is its magical ability to create close racing. Today, I'm with Chris Vermeulen. We all know who he is, MotoGP legend, and together we're going to have a look around this place.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've raced here, Steve, but I'm really looking forward to the racing today. This place does make for some close motorcycle racing.
Right, let's go and have a look. Well, this really is a track of 2 halves, isn't it?
Oh, completely agree, Steve. You know, turn 1 and this turn 2, so fast and flowing, and you know, really high corner speed. And then you've got a big long straight down there into the second part of the track, which we'll get to in a minute, is really stop-start, you know, so very different. But what's interesting when you're walking the track like we are now, and you can see all the little bumps, but what's interesting here, the exit of turn 2, is the way the camber rolls off right before the curb there, right when the guys are on full gas, trying to get the drive to the highest top speed. So it could go very wrong there, I reckon.
Well, if I remember back into the dim, dark past, I think I might have done something not exactly right there myself.
We've all done it somewhere, haven't we?
Now, we're at the business end of this QR Raceway.
Well, we are, Steve, and what's interesting about that is there are a lot of overtaking opportunities at this track, but most of them are into braking areas. So what that creates is, you know, they've got to get a setup where the bike is confident for the rider to be able to push that front tyre deeper than they have to make that overtake. Now, that's in chassis setup. There's a lot of electronics on these superbikes now, engine brake control, all that sort of stuff. It's a big question to get that sorted.
Yeah, it's very difficult for the guys in the pit boxes to get that set up because you need one completely different over there to what you need in this braking area. There's something else special about this part of the track too, isn't there?
There is. It's really unique in the fact there's only 2 left-handers on this racetrack and they are right together here. So, what is it, roughly 1:07 for a superbike lap around here? I reckon they spend about 10 seconds on the left-hand side of the tyre. That's almost a minute that left-hand side of the tyre gets to cool off, so it can be pretty tricky coming in here.
And you really need to be careful on the first couple of laps.
Definitely.
But in my mind, Chris, the AMMF corner behind us here is the most important corner on the track. The drive out of there to get up to the start-finish line and finish this lap is what's going to win you or lose you the race.
I agree with you. It is a very important corner on the track, but I reckon braking, Steve, is more important coming into it, because if you can dive up the inside of the guy, you can hold him out and get him to the line anyway.
Braking or driving, I don't know who's right there, but I tell you what, there's plenty of ways to set your bike up for this track. It's an exciting track, and that is Queensland Raceway.
Qualifying yesterday afternoon saw Mike Jones on board bike number 46 scythe his way around this circuit to the tune of a 1:07.673, the fastest ever motorcycle lap of Queensland Raceway, to take pole position ahead of Brian Starring and number 1 Wayne Maxwell. You can see the top 3 of them. Right, so we're getting ready for the first of our Alpine Star Superbike races now. Mike Jones will start from pole position on board bike number 46. He's joined there by Brian Starring on the Desmo Sport Ducati and Wayne Maxwell on the Boost Mobile Racing with K-Tech Ducati.
Crew Halliday on row 2 is going to be up for it. We saw what he could do at Phillip Island. He doesn't need to qualify on that front row to get some good results.
Yeah, Josh Waters having his 120th start in ASBK as well. And after CC's, the rapid starting South Australian, keep your eye out for him. Also keep your eye out for those two guys on row 3, Glenn Allerton and Troy Herfoss, desperate to get towards the front. And also the Queenslander Aidan Wagner back there on row 4. He'll be wanting to put on a good show in front of his home fans here this weekend.
Yeah, well, he's a race winner, isn't he? So starting from where he is back on the grid, you can be sure he'll let some fireworks fly to make it on to get some TV time.
Also to Ant West starting on row 5. They didn't have the best qualifying performance. We know that the Dunlops that Ant West is using are not good for one lap pace, but they're very good over race distance. But Mike Jones will start from pole position. He's home round of the championship. YRT's home round of the championship as well. His teammate Crew Halliday back there on row 2. Crew Halliday desperate to upset Mike Jones' apple cart this weekend as well. Getting ready for Alpine Stars Superbike, race number 1. Red flag at the front of the grid. We're ready to go racing, Steve. Red flag has left the grid. Alpine Stars Superbike. Superbikes are go. Good start there from Brian Starring in the middle of the front row of the grid on board that Desmo Sport Ducati, and he will lead them down in towards turn 1. Maxwell a strong start, and also Josh Waters as well. And also Glenn Allerton up into 5th position around the outside of his teammate as they head towards turn 2 for the first time.
Yeah, that was a great start by Allerton to get right up there. But I'll tell you, Maxwell didn't get the start that he wanted. He was a little bit left off, but somehow made it up. Bo Beaton's in there too. Good to see him up there. And Herfoss, not a great start, back down the field a little bit.
He's managed to tag onto the back of Arthur CC's down the inside at turn 2 there. But Chet Metcher, big move on the brakes there, goes up the inside of Troy Herfoss as they exit and down the Dunlop straight now for the first time. It is Starring, Jones and Maxwell. But keep your eye on those BMWs, the next-gen motorsport BMWs of both Josh Waters and Glenn Allerton. They're looking ready to pounce.
17 laps around this track is a long, long way. I tell you now, they've got a big, big effort ahead. You cannot make a mistake. But look at Starring. He's got to stay right where he is. He's got a big field of guys behind him.
Wagner, a big move on the brakes there to go up the inside of Mark Kyoto. Looks like Jet Metcher in that battle as well.
Looks like Metcher's found something. He's definitely on his way forward in this pack.
So back to the front, it is Starring, Jones, Maxwell. Then it is the two BMWs of Allerton and Josh Waters. Then it's Crew Halliday putting in a big job there. That was Crew Halliday, not Jed Metcher, that was down the inside of Troy Herfoss at turn 2. Very similar liveries as Jones takes the lead now from the Desmo Sport Ducati. But how fast is that Ducati punching out of the corner? But Mike Jones is R1, certainly no slouch, Steve.
Now, there's been talk throughout the weekend that, yeah, Jones might be fast, but he's quite weak on the brakes. That's been the talk in the paddock, but I haven't seen that so far. He looks to be pretty good on the brakes to me.
He's quite weak on the brakes because he runs into corners so fast, it looks like he hardly uses them. Good battle there.
Oh, he's wide.
Oh, he has gone wide, and it looks like he's about to be gobbled up by Wayne Maxwell. He held no drive as they come out of Yamaha Financial Services corner and make their way down towards Pirelli for the second time. Maxwell can't quite seem to get up the inside, but look at Glenn Allerton looking very smooth there. He's had a rough weekend so far, but looking very good. Rolling thunder, Steve Martin. That's what I would describe that as the booming Ducatis and also those cross-plane crank V4s of the, cross-plane crank 4s of the Yamahas, and also the screaming, 15.5, 16,000 RPM red line of those BMWs all chime in there. With Crew Halliday, he's pushing very hard. He's lost touch with that lead group, sitting back there in 6th position, but he's desperate to try and get up to that lead group.
Look at Allerton. Allerton has won here in the past, hasn't he? Is this the track that he won the championship at? I think it is.
And last time we were here in 2014, it was Glenn Allerton first, Mike Jones second.
Well, fantastic stuff for the BMWs out there at the moment. They're doing a good job. Mike Jones has got a lot of pressure on him. He's not going to run away with this, that's for sure. Maxwell, who says openly he doesn't like this track, sits in 3rd position, but I'm sure he'd be happy with the podium.
I actually did a pillion ride with Glenn Allerton here many, many years ago. He looks to be going a little faster now than what he was back then.
No jump starts, so we're playing for keeps in this one.
Waters closing in onto the back ducktail there of his teammate Glenn Allerton.
The other unique thing about this Queensland Raceway circuit is that tyre wear doesn't really come into it. The tyres don't get a big workout, so it's all about fitness and outright speed. The lap times won't degrade over the length of the race.
Fastest man on the last lap, Crew Halliday, a 108.184. That's a new lap they were doing 7s in qualifying. So the big question is, Steve Martin, how low is that lap record going to get? At the moment, Crew Halliday takes the lap record on us with a 108.184, 274 kilometres an hour top speed. That looks like one of the fastest speeds out there. Actually, no, the only other one faster than Mark Kyoto with 276.
Yeah, it's pretty quick from the privateer Mark Kyoto and his Yamaha. That team have done a great job at setting that bike up. But it's still Mike Jones out front, the man who's pretty much been dominant here. But one thing we saw at Phillip Island is that Crew, although he didn't have that qualifying speed and he didn't get a good start in the first race, he had a little bit of extra speed at Phillip Island than Mike Jones. So it's a catch-up game. And there's the number 25, Daniel Falzon, fresh from the marriage yesterday in South Australia. Flew back this morning, back on the track.
Yeah, that's commitment from Daniel Falzon and his team there, a family-run team. Good job to see them getting their way back here to Queensland Raceway this morning. Just having a look at the lap times too. Troy Herfoss's lap times, pretty much exactly the same as all the rest of that field. Fastest lap now, Brian Starring, a 107.885. That's getting down towards the qualifying time of a 107.897.
Yeah, it's
sorry, 107.673.
Well, yeah, that was, I mean, he's 2/10 off Mike Jones. Mike was consistently in qualifying doing 107.8s. He did the one lap at 107.6. So he's, you know, he can probably, if he can eke out 2 or 3 laps at this pace, he might get himself a handy little lead. He's certainly stretching the group out with the pace that he's able to carry at the moment. But it is going to be a long race for him.
On that last lap, everybody inside the top 10, except for Lachlan Epps in 9th place, set their fastest lap of the race. So they're just building and building now. The big question is, how long are the brakes going to be able to withstand this pressure? Because there is a lot of pressure being applied to them at turn 3, turn 4, and also the final corner, AWMF corner, turn 6.
He's the main man from Pirelli, and you've got to say most of the tyres are run on that. The track temperature now, Gary, similar to what they've had over the weekend?
Yes, it's very similar to this time yesterday, so around the 44, 45 degrees mark. So we can constantly run race distance at this temperature, no problem at all.
Fast lap times though, 7.8. So happy to go with that right to the end?
I think they'll run like that. Possibly, we'll see near the end. We could be a little quicker.
No pressure on you, but it's a great race at the front. Back to you guys.
This is a track where, Phil, because the tyres don't degrade, although they're doing 107.8 now, as the fuel load gets lighter, they actually could go faster towards the end of the race. And that will affect different guys differently. You know, like maybe Mike Jones might become stronger or he might become weaker. And to me, it looks like Brian Starring is the man on the move at the moment. Starring is looking pretty good there in second. He's closed that gap down completely now to Jones.
There was only 1/100th of a second between them on the last lap as they come across to complete another lap. It was, well, it was still Jones that was a fraction quicker, but there's literally nothing in it, Steve, as they come through Point Stars corner, turn 1, and head out there to this very fast entry, fast, long corner at turn 2, and then starts this long drive up the back straight. We saw it at Phillip Island, Ducati's had the great punch off the corners, but here at Queensland Raceway, those Yamahas look to be working an absolute treat, as we see a good battle there between Jed Metcher and Ant West, the Moto Go Yamaha, the only rider in this field pretty much using the Dunlop tyres, looking like he's doing a good job at the moment.
So that's Starring's
off the track. Is that looks like it could be the final corner, turn 6? No, he's in the middle of the track now. He's got rocks and everything all over the tyres. Has made it very, very slippery for Brian Starring. So that will promote Wayne Maxwell up into a second place. Let's have a look and see if we can see what happened on the AMX Superstores replay. On the brakes into AMF corner. Looks like he may have just lost it mid-corner.
He lost the front in exactly the same spot that Glenn Allerton lost the front. Allerton saved it, but unfortunately for Starring, it's all over. Then on the AMX replay, he's tried to turn it. Something's caught the steering and locked it when he's crashed, and that's what's caused him to fall off there. Let's hope that they can clear that debris up and we keep this race going.
So it is now Jones with a very, very handy lead over Wayne Maxwell. Shows you how quickly the tables can turn in the 2022 ASBK Championship.
Especially in the championship points, because Maxwell didn't finish a race in the points at Phillip Island. He would have seen that and gone, well, thank you very much.
So Jones now with a 3.4 second lead over Maxwell, and now the battle is well and truly on between the two BMWs and Crew Halliday for the final place on the podium. We're on lap 12 of 16, Steve Martin, 4 laps to go. Jones's lead at 3.4 seconds looks pretty much invincible, but the real question is, has Josh Waters, Glenn Allison and Crew Halliday got anything for Wayne Maxwell? There's less than a second between them.
to see. We did say at the start of this race, keep an eye on Josh Waters, and it's turning out to be right at the moment. But you're going to be assured that with these two guys behind, Allen and Crew Halliday, they won't want to finish 4th and 5th and be that close. So you can assume, probably pretty correctly, that Glenn Allerton's going to have another dig.
Well, Crew Halliday came into this round second in the championship after 2 strong results at Phillip Island. Glenn Allerton didn't have the first round he would have hoped for. An ear infection meant that his balance was a little bit off. Josh Waters was there or thereabouts all weekend, so no surprise to see all of those guys at the front. Also no surprise to see Mike Jones with the form that he's shown in testing here at Queensland Raceway, and also earlier on this weekend in practice and qualifying, to be holding a very handy lead. I didn't think it would be 3.9 seconds with 2 laps to go, or 3 laps to go.
This is a dominant display by Mike Jones. I mean, you've got to remember that he hadn't ridden an R1. We've got another faller in that same spot.
I think that might be Jed Metcher. Jed Metcher on board bike number 30, bike number 3 is unfortunately out at turn 6.
Yeah, unfortunately for Jed, that's game over. Let's just have another quick look at that. He's tried to dive up the inside of Ant West, gone in narrow, and there's got to be some sort of bump there. Oh, he hit the debris.
Yeah, a bit of debris from Brian Starring's crash.
And unfortunately for him, wrong place, wrong time. And yeah.
He was on the limit trying to get the better of Ant West in that ongoing battle that they'd been having for the last few corners.
Yeah, and there was nothing that he could do about that. It was just pretty much, you know, it was what it was. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Mike Jones in the right place at the right time with a massive lead now. 4.1 seconds over Wayne Maxwell. Maxwell won't be trying to keep him up, but he will be trying to fend off Josh Waters.
Josh Waters was 1/10 of a second faster on the last lap. You can see now that distance has come right down. So the Mildura missile is on a charge, trying to get the better of the new Wollongong whiz in Wayne Maxwell. He was originally from Wollongong, lives in Melbourne now, but doing a great job at the moment to try and hold off Josh Waters. And I think, if anything, Crew Halliday has lost a little bit of distance to Glenn Allerton in that ongoing battle. Having a look at their lap times, yeah, Crew was 1/10 of a second slower on the last lap.
Yeah, it's up to Waters now to see how brave he is. Can he catch Wayne Maxwell? I'm sure that he can see him. I'm sure that he's pretty much running the same pace. And every lap that he does, remember, he's had a couple of years really of you know, getting confidence knocked. He's getting stronger and stronger with every lap he does in that BMW. And look how close he is to the back of Maxwell now.
I reckon I can almost see the steely glaze of Josh Waters' eyes coming out from underneath that visor on his helmet as he makes his way out of turn 3. Good battle here between Lachlan Epps and Brock Pearson. Very impressive rookie Brock Pearson on board bike number 4, doing a good job to hold off Lachlan Epps, and also Bo Beaton having his second ride in 2 years on board the North Coast V Twins K-Tech machine there. Good to see Bo and his dad Ash here working on it this weekend.
Yeah, Beaton was looking like he wanted to nip up the inside there too. Had a bit of a look, not enough room left by Epps, unfortunately for him.
So look at the corner entry speed of Bo Beaton there through Yamaha corner, looking to try and set himself up for a big outbreaking manoeuvre at AWMF corner, and he does it down the inside of Epps. Good stuff there from Bo Beaton.
Yeah, so it looks like Epps has got some sort of issue there, doesn't it? He's certainly not showing the pace that he had. He's in the 111s. He's 3 seconds off the pace at the moment, so it looks like there's some sort of issue there.
Gee, I tell you what, it was a top speed battle there between, we know how rapid that BMW is, we know how fast the V4R is of Bo Beaton. They're really going to it there down the main straight. The current lead for Mike Jones down to 5.2 seconds over Wayne Maxwell. The gap between Wayne Maxwell and Josh Waters is down to 0.123 of a second. That is absolutely nothing as they make their way around this circuit. We're on lap 14 lap 15. We've completed 14 laps. And here it is. Waters right onto the back of Maxwell now. Allerton in good position as well, and Crew Halliday has closed up as well. All of them are still lapping in the mid-108s.
Yeah, Maxwell definitely not looking as comfortable mid-corner as we've seen with other circuits. He's normally can carry an incredible amount of mid-corner speed, but he's just looking not so bad in these faster corners, but in those tighter corners, I don't think he's really comfortable with the way his bike's handling.
Well, he's got about 3 kilometres he needs to hold off Waters and Allerton, as Mike Ledwood does a good job there on the addicted track machine to get out of the way. I think, if anything, down that back straight, they've just stretched out a fraction. Look at Allerton, late on the brakes. He closes right up onto the back of Waters. Crew Halliday trying desperately to go with them as well. There's a couple of corners to go, and it is the midfield, infield section of this circuit. The two left-handers. Can Waters come up the inside of Maxwell? No, Wayne is too late on the brakes. Allerton closes in once again as they come through Honda. Yamaha, they're going through now. There's only one corner left, Steve.
Yeah, and it looks like Josh Waters ran a little bit wide there, so I think second's probably going to be pretty safe for Wayne Maxwell. It's going to be down to the teammates, Waters and Allen. What's going to happen there?
Well, Mike Jones comes out onto the front straight to take his first race win of the year. It looks like Maxwell is just going to hold off Waters in the battle for the podium positions. And then Glenn Allerton and Crew Halliday will round out the top 5. Nothing separated those three as they came across the line, Steve. What a great ride from Mike Jones, though. 5.6 seconds. I wouldn't have expected a win here at Queensland Raceway from Mike Jones to be that big.
You don't win by 5.6 seconds here. That was an incredible ride from Mike. He's going to be emotional. When was the last time he won a race? I reckon it was like perhaps when he won the championship last year.
He didn't win any races last year. The year before, he probably would have won a race. But yeah, it's been a little while between drinks for Mike Jones.
We saw Brian Starring and how emotional he was at Phillip Island. I bet we'll see the same this time now.
Yeah, congratulations to Mike Jones and Yamaha race team for that win, their first of the year. Takes the win by 5.67 seconds over Josh Waters and, Wayne Maxwell. Josh Waters in the final podium position. Glenn Allerton in 4th, Halliday in 5th, Herfoss in 6th. Championship points, the important part for Troy Herfoss there. CC's in 7th, West in 8th, Hayden Wagner in 9th, Mark Yetto rounds out the top 10, and the freshly married Daniel Falzon in the top 11 position, Brock Pearson in 12th.
First podium, mate, on the BMW. You must be pumped.
Yeah, over the moon. So I've got to say a huge thanks to the Next Gen Maxima Motorsport team that have given me the chance to race again and be competitive. All my personal sponsors, my crew, my brother Brody, and this weekend, Weddy, Paul Grant Mitchell. So Shane's been fantastic. Glenn's been helping out wherever he can. So yeah, it was good to have both the bikes up there.
The bike looks really strong too, so you reckon you can go one or two steps higher for the next one?
There's for sure things that we can work on to improve the bike, and it was actually good riding around with the other guys to see where there was parts where I thought I was slow but I'm actually quick, and then there's parts where I really need to improve.
Oh, good luck in the next race, Josh. It's great to see him out. He gets a lot of support here at Queensland Raceway, and he said to me before, first podium in a while. I forgot what it feels like, but one guy that does know, he's done a bit of winning recently. Second place there. I know you'll be happy for the championship, but you can't be happy letting one of your rivals get 5 seconds in front of you.
No, definitely not. It's just the effects, obviously, of not having the testing time here, having 40 minutes or whatever we had. So look, it's no excuse. My guy's done a fantastic job. It's a long championship. It's my worst track with no testing, and that's the result. It's not too bad. We'll take it.
So, any changes for the next one?
Yeah, need to change a little bit. Just a transition from the braking to getting back to the throttle. I'm just not that good in that area. On the close on the brake, on the upright braking, and on the way in, just a transition. I was losing too much. And Mike was so good in turn 2 there. So, yeah, it's going to be, don't know if we can solve that one that quickly.
Well, we'll see how you go in the next one. We look forward to it. It was a great race. And obviously, the Queensland man, the home hero, Mike Jones, first win on the Yamaha. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, it's just so exciting to get this first win done with Yamaha, and it's quite surprising for me that it's come so early, but just a hard work from the team and my crew, and obviously the Yamaha R1M is just a really great bike to ride.
I know you were confident with your pace this weekend, but on the grid there, I could tell there were a few nerves, and you thought Brian Starring was going to be one of your main competitors. But to win by over 5 seconds, does it take the pressure off for race 2?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I definitely was nervous on the start of the race. There's a lot of pressure there. You're starting from pole, you're expected to win. Home crowds here, family and friends and stuff. I want to do the best job I can, and I want to come away with a win. So for sure, getting that one done does ease the pressure a little bit. I know my pace, and doing that full race run, then I know what I've got for the next one.
Well, it was impressive to see, guys. He was so smooth, consistent. The laps kept going. So, yeah, I thought it was an impressive race. But race 2's coming up. The temperature could go up. Things could happen different. But, who knows? Let's wait and see. That's the exciting thing about Superbike and having 2 races in the day. So, fingers crossed. I can't wait for the next one.
Thanks very much, Chris. Great to hear from our top 3 down there at the AMX Superstores podium. as we get ready to go racing once again, Steve Martin. Let's have a look at this grid. An impressive grid it is. Mike Jones will start from pole position. Brian Starring out of position number 2, and Wayne Maxwell joins them on the front row of the grid.
Yeah, really looking forward to see what Crew Halliday can do. Let's hope that he gets a better start this time out, because we know that if we see him up near the front, he's going to be an absolute weapon. Glenn Allerton, he also showed some promise, didn't he? He was on a mission there, but you know, he's got to try and take it to his teammate Waters first of all.
That's it. And also last time we were here 8 years ago, Glenn Allerton was standing on top of the podium. Incidentally, the man right behind him on the podium was Mad Mike Jones. Also keep your eye on Aidan Wagner as well, the local Queenslander. Didn't get a very good start in race number 1. He'll be starting on row 4 with both Jed Metzer and Mark Kyoto as well. We get ready to go racing for the second and final time for Alpine Stars Superbike. Round 2 of the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championship. Problem there for Bo Beaton. That looks like it's ready to go now. Well, Superbikes are going. That was, I thought they might have been going to hold the start up there for a moment, but Maxwell will lead them through turn 1 for the first time. Great start there on the Boost Mobile Racing with K-Tech V4R as they make their way through Yamaha and down into Motorcycling Australia corner and out through Michelin.
Yeah, and Jones is exactly right to be. Look how tight Jones is on the exit there, and that is what he does so good. He gets it, he can make that bike turn a little bit more, but it looks like it's up the inside goes Brian Starring, can't quite do it.
Well, Crew Halliday has got a decent start. It's not one of his best starts, but he's sitting in about 7th position. I think, was that a big moment there for one of the BMWs? Was that Josh Waters or Glenn Allerton right in front of Troy Herfoss there? As they come down into Honda corner, it is Starring making to try and make a run on the brakes, couldn't quite get past, had to drop back a fraction. After CC's, he's got a cracker, he's up into 4th place.
Absolutely, he got that start he was looking for in race 1. It's, Lachlan Epps back there in 5th position. Crew Halliday with work to do now, but at least he's in front of the 2 BMWs. There's Bo Beaton. He had some sort of issue at the start, but in the end, they weren't waiting for him, so he had to sort it out.
I think it was, I'm not sure what it was. He had his hand up, and then all of a sudden the hand came down. The lights went out almost simultaneously. As Lachlan Epps has got a cracking start there. I'm not sure how he's managed to get that far forward on the grid in such a short amount of time.
And in the meantime, Jones has done what he does best. Between 1 and 2, gone past Maxwell. Maxwell has to react now.
But how wide was Jones? He was out onto the concrete ripple strip on the outside of turn 2 as he came out through Michelin and then down the back straight to Suzuki. He's now got the 2 booming V4Rs right behind him. But look at Jones. Look what he's managed to do in just 2 corners, Steve. And that was where you said that he was so fast. Here is a AMX Superstores replay between turns 1 and 2. Not a known overtaking opportunity, but Jones just made it look so easy.
He went past like it was like Maxwell was standing still. It was a very, very good pass. Plenty of grip there, and they've got the suspension on that bike working well, because we know how bumpy it is through the middle of that circuit.
Right, let's have a listen to these bikes as they come on to the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance straight for the second time. You can just hear those screaming BMWs after the drone of Jones's cross-plane crank Yamaha in line 4 went past in the lead. Then the 2 V4s of the Ducatis. After CC's putting a great ride here on board bike number 61. We know he's got the pace, Steve, because he's been showing it since the final round last year. And the Unitech team doing a great job to give Arthur a very competitive motorcycle this weekend.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was Crew Halliday. A lot of pressure there from him, but unfortunately for Arthur, he was on for a podium at that event, wasn't he? But it was red flagged and he missed out. So let's hope that he can at least be right up there at the end of this and be in the hunt for one here.
Well, Crew Halliday didn't get the best of starts, but he's got forward a lot earlier than what he did in the race this morning. He's managed to get past those 2 BMWs and also well, the 3 BMWs really, because Josh Waters, Lachlan Epps and Glenn Allerton. Herfoss is right there as well. So as we said, Herfoss is a racer. He's going to love this being in the battle with all of those guys there and in a pretty good position. It's going to be a very strong push there for 5th position. But the big question is, can Crew Halliday now bridge that gap to Arthur CC's in 4th place, who's hanging onto the back of our race leaders?
Yeah, well, Crew Halliday, he's same deal. Like he's going to be able to do the pace, but look at the amount of room that he's lost now. He's lost a couple of seconds to the pack in front to make a couple of seconds up here. it's a real hard task.
Well, there's only one rider that's managed to dip into the 7 so far, and that is Mike Jones with a 107.924. Everyone else is back in the 8s, and that includes Wayne Maxwell and Brian Starring, but Jones just clearing out at the front. He's managed to get about a 1.5 second lead already in this race, and we're only on lap 4 of 16.
Well, Starring's just made a move up the inside in Honda corner and gone past Maxwell, so it's clear air now between him and the man in front, Mike Jones. So we're going to have to keep an eye on the time. How hard will he be willing to push? There's Matty Walter's bike in the pits. Unsure what the issue is there, but it's all over today for him.
Yeah, unfortunately, they've had a wretched weekend on the Kawasaki Connection ZX10 RR. The only Kawasaki in the field, and unfortunately it's finished early for Matt Walters once again. And Drew Halliday's making a surge forward, but Josh Waters is going with him too.
Yeah, Waters is going, yeah, no, I want a bit of this. I mean, we liked that podium last time out in race 1, so he's going to get everything he can. A lot of work to do for those two guys if they want to taste podium victory this afternoon.
Well, and Arthur is giving Wayne Maxwell a fair bit of hurry up as they came down the back straight there as well. So Maxwell got a lot to think about because he's got the, Drew Halliday, big moment there on the front end. He was lucky to save that. Josh Waters has gone through on the inside. Drew Halliday, that was a big moment there. That could have been a massive loss of championship points for the man that came in here in second place in the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a frustrating weekend for him, especially when your teammates blasting off into the difference. We'll have a look on the AMX replay. He's gone in there sideways. Look at that. He's had to turn it in or he was going to run wide. And then he's just completely lost the front, saved it on his knee, picked it up. Waters goes through on the inside, and that's a get-out-of-jail-free card there because that could have all been over.
That was a display of amazing reflexes and riding skill, I think, from Cruello. Probably all that dirt riding that he does coming to the fore there.
With a little bit of luck thrown in, for sure. But, I mean, you know, he's got to start thinking, right, well, I need points this weekend. It isn't going to work for me, but if at least I can get some points, I will. That's what he's got to go for now. Bearfoss is having a good ride this time out, too.
On the last lap, it was Jones with a 108.4, 108.3 for Brian Starring, 108.6 for Wayne Maxwell, then a 9.0 for Arthur Cece's, an 8.6 for Josh Waters, and a 9.4 for Drew Halliday. That was including that massive moment there at turn 3, the Ducati corner.
So that gap, 1.7, that between first and second at the moment, it seems like a lot. But if Mike Jones can close it down a 10th per lap, that will put pressure on Mike Jones. If Mike can see that that gap is getting smaller, it'll get to a point where it might force him into a mistake. So that's the only hope for Brian Starring.
Big move there from Ant West on Mark Chiodo as we head down to the pits and an update on Matt Walters from Chris Vermeulen.
Yeah, guys, I just spoke to one of his mechanics. He had brake issue again, and Steve, Phil, you know he's been having brake issues all weekend. They just said brand new system, brand new calipers, whole brake system on that Kawasaki, brand new Brembo pads, and the brake lever came right to the bars. So he just came in on safety reasons. So terrible weekend for him. I hope they get that sorted because we know the Kawasaki can challenge at the front. So let's see what he got in the next round.
Yeah, well, Wakefield Park is a circuit that Matt Walters is very good at, so let's hope they can get back on track there. Speaking of back on track, look at this battle with Jed Metcher. He's looking to claim another scalp in the form of Lachlan Epps there, who's slipped back through the field. He was up as high as 4th or 5th position, but Epps is now back into 9th and battling for that position with Jed Metcher on board the 727 Moto machine. We were saying before, too, about Troy Herfoss's team. You know, the few technical changes with the Honda and everything, but the other one was there was a big personnel change. One of the gurus of motorcycle preparation in this country, Paul Free, is now working with Jed's 727 Moto team. And look at that, Jed down the inside of Lachlan Evans to take up the running in 9th position. They've got a very talented group of people there in that 727 Moto team, including Paul Free, Brent Stevens, and also Stu Whitten.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of good people in that garage, and they're definitely going to be moving forward. I mean, it's a different role for Jed Metcher as well. I mean, he used to manage everything, but now he's just a rider, so he's going to learn to let go of that and just concentrate on riding as well. It's good to see him in this race. I mean, obviously he had that a lot of bad luck in the race earlier today, but it's good to see him back on the bike. It hasn't affected him at all, so, you know, good news.
Back down to Chris.
Yeah, guys, I'm here with Ben Henry, big boss at Desmo Sport Ducati. I know race 1 didn't go to plan with Brian, but it hasn't slowed him down. He's still confident, isn't he? He obviously thinks he's got a chance to close that gap on Jonesy.
Yeah, definitely. Like, we went through it after the race, and we understand what happened, so that makes it easy to step back on the bike and go fast again. Look, the gap's staying pretty similar at the moment. I think Jonesy's got him pretty covered, but it doesn't take much, you know. There's nothing in it. There's nothing in it. And see how it pans out in the next 10.
Exactly, one little mistake. When you say you understood the crash, did you make a change to fix that?
No. Tune the rider.
Always adjust the rider's head. That's the hardest thing, guys. West out of turn 2. That was great drive. Used the slipstream to absolute perfection to go down the inside on the brakes into Ducati corner turn 3. So Ant West on a bit of a charge here on board bike number 13. The Moto Go machine is on the move.
Brock Pearson doing a good job out there. Daniel Falzon coming through the field, remembering he wasn't here yesterday, had to start from the end of the field, so he'll get some points at least, which is perfect for him.
Back down to Chris for an update from the pits.
I'm here with Craig McMartin, the boss for Wayne Maxwell. Just caught him looking at the time set. He's trying to keep an eye on everything. Looks like a couple of third places. You were very dominant at Phillip Island. You're going to be happy if that's the way it ends?
Yeah, for sure. You know, we didn't get to do any testing here. We done like half a day, where most guys have done, you know, at least 3 days. So, like, we're really happy. We're a little bit behind the 8 ball to start with. So, look, I think Wayne and the team have done such a great job to be where we are.
Well, it's great to see he's out. It's great to see him challenging. Is Wakefield Park going to suit him next time?
Yeah, Wakefield Park was good to us last year, so fingers crossed we'll see how that goes.
I love it when Wayne Maxwell's on it, guys.
Well, he's certainly on at the moment, and he needs to be on it because he's got Arthur Ceese's and Josh Waters breathing down his neck. Not sure if he could actually be able to concentrate at the moment, because there'd be a lot of noise coming from behind, and that would be Arthur Ceese's very gruff cross-plane crank 4-cylinder machine, and also that screaming BMW of Josh Waters. So they come round through Pirelli now and around AWMF corner and out onto the start-finish straight. This will complete 13 laps of the 16-lap journey, so Wayne Maxwell's only got to hold on for another 3 laps to take another podium. But Arthur would love to get back up onto that podium. Not too far behind is this battle between Glenn Allerton and Troy Herfoss. Great to see Herfoss actually back and racing a good rider at the front of the field instead of just wondering what's going wrong with the Honda.
Yeah, Herfoss will be pretty happy with this. He'll be able to see things that he hasn't seen for quite a while. You know, he's been riding around mid-pack to the back in reality, but this weekend he's lifted his level. The team have lifted their level, and the Penrite Honda is it's on its way back to the top of the charts. And as we head into Wakefield Park, guess
anything could happen.
Guess who's good there? Troy Herfoss.
He goes okay there at Wakefield Park with Troy Herfoss, but then again, so does Wayne Maxwell. I can remember some epic duels between the two of them there over the years, so looking forward to that next round. Let's just keep our eye on this battle at the moment. It looks like Allerton has just got the upper hand at the moment, but this battle for third place is going to get very interesting over the next lap or so too, because it looks, if anything, oh no, Crew Halliday stopped at turn 5 with a mechanical issue.
Oh, that's not good for his championship, that's for sure. Crew Halliday's out.
Well, that means 3 of our top riders in the championship have all had at least one DNF so far this year, and that can be very costly towards the end of the year. 25 valuable points going begging.
Yeah, and just getting word that another rider that may have come down is Jet Metch has had a crash too at turn 2, so that's quite a fast corner, that one, so let's hope that he's okay.
Looking at Arthur now making a big move on the brakes to try and get up onto the back of Maxwell. Josh Waters right there as well on board the BMW. It's been a sensational meeting here at Queensland Raceway for Josh Waters.
Yeah,
I think this would be his 121st start in the ASBK Championship this race.
Well, he would love to get a podium, wouldn't he? But a little bit of work for him to do it. He's got to get in front of that number 1, Wayne Maxwell. But he's got to get past, Arthur, and I reckon Arthur's looking for a podium. He's got to have a go, doesn't he? He doesn't want to finish 4th. 4th's a great result, but when you're so close and you haven't had a podium in this championship before, you've got to have a dig if you get a chance.
Well, he was also so close at the Bend East Home Circuit last year in December at the final round of the championship. really desperate to try and get one on. It's been a good weekend for the Unitec team with young Sam Pizzetta getting on the podium. Cameron Randy doing a great job in the Blue Crew Oceania Junior Cup. Arthur doesn't want to be the one that's been left out of that equation this weekend. As we go back to our race winner, Mike Jones. He's on a planet all his own at the moment, Mike Jones, as he comes out of turn 3 on the final lap. He's only got 3 corners to go and a very handy 4.2 second lead over the rest of the field. We haven't seen much of him in this coverage because he's been so far ahead of everybody else.
Oh, it's just been an incredible display from Mike Jones. I mean, where's this come from? He was looking comfortable at Phillip Island, but here this weekend, boy, he's taught everyone a lesson.
Well, Jones through the final corner now. One more turn to go for a double victory. A perfect weekend for Mike Jones. Pole position, 2 race wins at Queensland Raceway. Yamaha Racing Team's home venue. Crosses the line to take another victory. Brian Starring will take second. Wayne Maxwell should hold on for 3rd position. Arthur CC's great ride from him in 4th. Josh Waters secures 5th and Glenn Allerton 6th. Troy Herfoss in 7th. Troy Herfoss is back, I think we can safely say, after that one as well. Look at this great battle too between a lot of Yamahas here. Daniel Falzon, fresh from his wedding yesterday, come back to Queensland Raceway, started from the back of the grid, battling with Mark Kyoto and Aidan Wagner all the way to the line. But no one can get near that Yamaha. Steve Martin, bike number 46, and what a weekend for Mike Jones and YRT.
Yeah, that was incredible stuff from Mike Jones. He hadn't ridden that bike until pretty much the start of this year. He missed a lot of races last year as well. He wasn't at the bend, so Mike Jones is back with a vengeance. I just cannot wait to see how he goes on this machine at Wakefield Park. But what an incredible display here. When we were watching him in practice, he was doing things on that bike that we didn't think were possible. People were saying, oh, you know, Mike, he's too weak on the brakes. Well, I don't think he used the brakes in this race. He just shot round those corners like they weren't even there.
Well, his fastest lap of the race, a 1:07.924, was only fractionally off Brian Starring's new lap record set in race number 1. He takes the victory by 4.182 seconds over Brian Starring. Wayne Maxwell rounds out the podium. Arthur Cece's in 4th, Waters in 5th, Allerton in 6th, Herfoss in 7th, West in 8th, Aidan Wagner in 9th, and Mark Kyoto rounds out the top 10, just ahead of the freshly married Daniel Falzon. Brock Pearson, leading rookie, in 12th position, Bo Beaton in 13th, Maxi Stouffer in 14th, Chandler Cooper in 15th, Michael Edwards 16th, and along with Jed Metcher and Crew Halliday, failed to finish that race. So, big news to come out of Queensland Raceway this weekend. A DNF for Brian Starring, a DNF for Crew Halliday, means that Mike Jones now leads the championship on 86 points ahead of Brian Starring on 70. Josh Waters has moved up into 3rd place on 67. Wayne Maxwell 64 in 4th place. Allerton 5th and 61 points. So very close between 3rd and 5th place. Then you've got Arthur CC's in 6th, Crew Halliday in 7th, Falzon in 8th, Herfoss in 9th on 47 points. Tied with Ant West and also Aidan Wagner.
Well, guys, how good was it to see Superbikes back here at Queensland Raceway? One guy that doesn't really like the track, but did pretty good. Was that damage limitation? Were you happy with 2 3rd places?
Yeah, look, happy with, yeah, obviously second the first one, 3rd in the second one. But really our pace was 3rd all weekend, and that's just sort of where it stayed. We just couldn't close the gap, and, you know, massive apologies to my team. I wasn't good enough today, and we'll go back, have a look at the drawing board and come out at some racetracks that were probably a little bit more suited to us and the bike. Massive congrats to Mike and Brian. They rode awesome, and yeah, it's we're sort of made it a bit easier back in the championship hunt in a roundabout way, and see how we go.
You're in the championship hunt. You're really fast at Phillip Island. Maybe not quite showing the speed here. The next couple of tracks, do you think they're going to suit your bike, suit you?
Yeah, history says that we're good at the other tracks and I'm bad here, so yeah, we'll stick with history, and these guys are going to get better and better, but yeah, we're up for the fight.
Well, you're always in with a fight. You know you love a good fight. Thanks, Wayne Maxwell. Congratulations on this weekend. Obviously, 2nd place in this one. It wasn't ideal in race 1, but you made up for it then, Brian. Great to get back on the podium. It looked like you were quite strong. Fastest Ducati. Does that mean something?
Yeah, I'm sort of like a little bit disappointed with that one overall. I mean, I sort of did what I needed to do to round out the day, but the truth is that I wasn't quite comfortable, and I wasn't comfortable pushing it. Thankfully, I didn't really have to fight at the end of the race, but about at the halfway point, I was sort of like, I think I had to risk too much to get to the back of Jonesy, and that was about all I could do. So congratulations to him on such a strong weekend.
I mean, the start of this season, a couple of years ago, you weren't really competitive. You weren't winning races. You a first, a couple of seconds, one unfortunate crash while running second. You must feel really happy being back with this team on the bike. You look comfortable.
It's funny how the desire to be competitive is soon outrun by the fact that you want to win. And I think I couldn't have had a truer day than that.
Oh, it's great to see you back here, Brian. It's really good to have you on the podium and be competitive again. So good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you. And quick shout out to Wymark Insurance Brokers and Surety Life Life Insurance, Berry Sweet Strawberries, and Consent to Go. Thank you.
Berry sweet strawberries. That sounds good. I'll be up for a few of them right now. But the man of the moment, I mean, what a weekend. Pole position, 2 wins. The only thing that let him down a little, he didn't quite get the lap record, but Mike Jones, I mean, fantastic weekend.
Thanks very much. Yeah, perfect weekend for me. Come here with a goal for pole and 2 race wins, and we got that done. Big credit to the Yamaha team, all of the guys at Yamaha, because they put in such a big effort for me to adapt and get used to this bike. The testing schedule leading up to this round has been enormous, and just to be able to reward them with a couple of race wins. I know it's been a little bit of a while for the guys, and obviously myself, last time was back in 2019, so to come and get a couple of wins is just fantastic.
I'm surprised you got a sweat on your face, because when you were riding, you looked so smooth, so comfortable, in control. I mean, did it feel like that out there?
Yeah, it definitely did. I felt like I was in control and comfortable, but you just can't get away from the fact that you're doing 20 minutes and you kit it up in a leather suit, helmet and boots. It's just the way it is. But I felt comfortable out there, and I felt like I was in control. So that's always your best race.
I mean, second race back, you're back with Yamaha. You say you feel like you're back at home. You're leading the championship. You're surprised at this moment?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, obviously you want to, my goal has been to come for the championship, but to lead the championship is a little bit above my expectation already. You know what I mean? I was hoping that maybe as the season went on, I'd really start to come to grips with the Yamaha, and then I'd be able to challenge. But to have the lead this early on is fantastic, and it's a credit to the team. You know what I mean? Like, they've given me a bike that I feel comfy on, so I can push that pace and be comfortable there. So stoked.
Well, it's so great to see you out here. It's so great to see you dominant again and winning races. Congratulations, Mike.
Thanks very much. I just want to say a big thanks to all the fans here that come out today, all my supporters and friends and family. It's really great. So thank you very much. Cheers.
It gets a lot of support from the Queenslanders, I can tell you that, guys. Back to you, Phil.
Thanks very much, Chris. Let's have a look at the calendars. What else is happening in the world of motorcycling? Round 1 of the Pro MX Championship, the 27th of March at Wonthaggi, not too far away now. Round 2 at Mackay, the 10th of April. Round 3 at Wodonga on the 1st of May. Then round 4, Gilman in South Australia on the 29th of May. Round 5, we go to Maitland on the 26th of June. Round 6 at Coffs Harbour on the 24th of July. Round 7, Queensland Moto Park on the 14th of August. Rounded at the end of the season, round 8, the 20th and 21st of August at Coolum in Queensland. Of course, ozpromx.com.au for more information. The Australian Off-Road Championship got underway this weekend at Charraba in Queensland. It's just about finished up now, but round 3 and 4 not too far away at Mackay on the 8th and 9th of April. Kyogle for round 5 and 6 on the 16th and 17th of July. Then we go down to Nowra on the 6th and 7th of August for round 7 and 8. Kingston in South Australia on the 17th and 18th of September for rounds 9 and 10. And the season finale at Wynyard in Tasmania, the 8th and 9th of October for rounds 11 and 12. Of course, aorc.org.au for more information. Well, the ASBK calendar, rounds 1 and 2 are now done. We head to April 22 and 24 at Wakefield Park for the next round of the championship. Then we head to Hidden Valley in Queensland, Northern Territory for round 4. That's Superbikes only with the supercars. Then the full circus is back to Morgan Park in Queensland on the 5th and 7th of August. Symonds Plains Raceway in Tasmania on the 20th to the 23rd of October. Round 7 at Phillip Island in November. And of course the grand finale at the Bend Motorsport Park in South Australia for December 2 and 4. Back down to Chris at the podium.
Yes, well, we're down here. Steve and I just keep watching our backs because we know that champagne spray is going to come soon and we're quick to run out of the way. But what a fantastic weekend, Steve.
I mean, who saw that coming? I mean, it's been Ducati, Honda for such a long time now. It's been a while since Yamaha have, been able to win a race. But, I mean, Mike Jones, what he's done here this weekend is sensational. He's really just come out of the box. Even from Friday morning when we spoke to him, it was really incredible. That double win, winning by that much was fantastic.
I'm just laughing because I'm watching my back. You've got Wayne seen Maxwell with an open bottle of champagne. Never trust him, definitely. But I've got to say, I really enjoyed the junior classes as well, the 300s, the way those guys riding, the 600 Super Sport, the tyre wars. You know, there's Mitchell and Dunlop, Pirelli. It's the championship is really strong at the moment.
Well, that's what I like about, and that's why I come here. I come here because I just love watching it. You know, like you can see the pathway from the young guys all the way through to the 300s. There's a pathway up to Superbikes and you know, and it ends up with, you know, these guys in the background here like spraying champagne everywhere. So, you know, where else would you rather be on a Sunday?
Well, I've really enjoyed my time here, guys. I've had a great time working with Steve and Phil, and on that note, I'll throw it back to you, Phil.
Yeah, thanks very much, Chris. We've enjoyed having you here as well, and yeah, great to work with you. But it's been a massive weekend. Can't wait for the next round at Wakefield Park. Not too long to wait. See you all at Wakefield Park.